Move the elbows forward. We'll just stay for a few breaths with the hands behind the back of the head. And sink the middle of the back down. And maybe you feel a little tugging on the edge of the armpits if you don't move the elbows further forward. One more long deep inhalation. Exhale fully. Release the hands forward. Quietly lift the head. Just bring yourself back to kneeling for a breath and feel the shoulders expanding. So it's nice to have a little quiet moment between poses to let any sensation release. So you can leave the bolster there for the next pose. And we're going to bring the front part of the pelvis onto the bolster. So it might make you look like you've got a slightly big bum. Bring the legs wide and the elbows down. Just press the palms of the hands together, lifting up into Sphinx pose. So just be a little bit careful with the back of the neck, that you're not over lifting. Just try and keep the head in line with the spine. Or you can just release the crown of the head down, but try and keep the chest lifted and the shoulders dropping back. If this feels too much, then don't use the bolster. So you can just come flat to the floor, but just gives you a little bit more lift in the chest. And settle into the breath. So now the front of the chest is nice and free and open. So if you want to walk the elbows a little bit further forward, rest the thumbs into the space between the eyebrows. You can release the back of the neck. And let the weight of the head drop into the thumbs. A little bit of pressure in that space between the eyebrows. And then notice the abdomen as you breathe in and soften as you breathe out. So allow yourself to find that little quiet place in the mind. And slowly slide the thumbs up towards the hairline. So you're just giving yourself a little massage along the forehead. And then you can release the elbows back down, but perhaps bring them in a little bit closer. Take the arms wide and lift the chest again. So you can either stay here, or if you want to, for the last minute, lift up into a little bit higher into seal pose. If it feels too much, you can always come back down. Really try and let go in the glutes and the big muscles in the buttocks. So you're not gripping on there, just opening the chest forward. Tongue heavy in the mouth. Couple more breaths. Release the chin to the chest, bend the elbows back in. And just ease yourself back, bring the feet together, and then you can just rest the head onto the bolster and come into child's pose for a few breaths. Arms resting on the floor, lower back opening. Breath at the back of the heart center again. Very, very slowly lift the head. Bring yourself back up. So for the next, we're going to do 2 poses in a row. You might need a cushion. You probably, or you can use your bolster. You probably won't need the bolster. We're going to come flat to the floor. So take one shoulder and rest it on the floor. This is my left, so I'll go with the left. Inhale here, bend the knees up. Make sure the front of the shoulders fully on the floor. And as you roll over, turn the left ear to the floor and bring the right knee on top of the left knee. Bring the cushion for your head if you need it, and then just rest the right arm behind you. So there's a big opening for the back of the left shoulder and the front of the hips. So ideally you want to have the knees in line with the shoulders, and then rest the left side body down. Sinking with the breath, so the waist, the hips, the shoulders are dropped into the floor. Now if you're like me, the knees don't quite touch, but you want to try to make the top leg heavy, or you could bring a rolled up blanket or cushion between the knees. Then breathe all the way from the knee to the shoulder. So after a minute or so, you might sink a little bit deeper into it. Feel gravity helping you. And just notice the sensations. Notice the breath. Pay attention to yourself. And then if you want to, you can let the right arm just float up like somebody's just gently pulling your arm up towards the ceiling. And then drop the right shoulder towards the left shoulder. No tension in the right arm, it's just hanging by itself. You just let the arm float down at any time you want. Let's just be another couple of breaths with the arm up. And then let that arm release back down, rest it on the right hip. And then press the right hand. Roll yourself back onto your tummy. Ooh. Feel the left arm undoing. Come through Sphinx pose. So we'll take the left arm in the other direction now, towards the right, underneath the right arm. I like to take the cushion from my right knee. And then we'll bring the left foot behind us into cats, pulling its tail. So you don't want to have the foot too high up. Try and rest the foot down. That's why it's quite nice to have a cushion for the right. And then turn the head. If you can turn it all the way to look over the right shoulder, then do. But otherwise you can just rest the head. Right knee really heavy. And roll the right shoulder away from the left shoulder. And then quieten the face again. So this is a nice place as the thumb is in the soft part of your foot, just to give your bottom foot a little bit of a massage with the thumb along the tender bits. Just stimulating some of the meridians in the foot. And then you can just relax. Maybe the foot's dropped a little bit more, the shoulder might have dropped a bit more. Nice deep twist along the right side body, so also accessing some of the abdominal organs. Sink into it a little bit more, heavier and heavier, softer and softer. So even though you're in quite a deep twist, try and release some of the tension in the body. Gently let go of that bottom foot now. Maybe extend the arm out to the side for a little bit. Take one full breath here. Exhale fully. And slide yourself back, one arm on top of the other. Release that knee further forward and just stay for a couple of breaths here. Just resting with the right knee up, the left leg heavy. And slow as you like, undo that. You can bring the cushion ready for the left side and just lie on your tummy. Have a little wiggle around. Do you feel everything releasing, softening? Ready to do the other side. So now right arm comes out level with his own shoulder. Bend the knees. So if you bend the knees first, it just helps you to get that nice right angle as you roll over. And bring the chin down to the chest. As you settle into this side. So one side will be a little bit easier than the other. And then you can rest the left arm behind the back of the body. So it might feel a little bit tighter in this right shoulder. And feel a quietness. So the right side body can drop down fully into the floor. Heavy left leg. So just know we will be here for a little while, so settle into it. Don't try and resist. And if you feel resistance, allow it to soften a bit more. Sometimes when you resist things, they just get harder. If you give in, then maybe things will open up. So again, if you want, you can float the left arm up towards the ceiling. If it feels too much, just leave it where it is. And then feel like it's just made of cotton or wool. And the left shoulder's dropping heavily towards the right shoulder. Just hanging. Opening the space between the collarbones. And this is the left side, the heart's a little bit towards the left, so you're just opening a little bit more around the heart centre. Just let the left arm drop to the left side. And then ease yourself over, rolling back onto the tummy. You can lengthen the legs now for a breath or two. Releasing in the right arm, coming through Sphinx. Just let any tension melt, any sensation disappear. And then extending through the left arm. Right arm's going to come underneath. I like to take the cushion for my left knee. And then taking the left arm to the right knee. For cat pulling its tail on this side. So take whatever props you need to help you into the pose. And then if you can, turn to look over that top shoulder, do. But otherwise, leave the head where it is. Or just looking up to the ceiling. So take care of your neck. And then completely relaxing the right foot, the right thigh, even though it's quite well stretched here. So let go of any muscular tension, which is quite a bit of practice in the legs especially, because we're used to using the legs muscularly. So keep encouraging the front and the back of the thigh muscle to just be a bit softer. And then you'll find you go a little bit deeper in. Maybe one shoulder will roll a little bit more. If you want to do the foot massage, thumb coming into the soft part of the foot. You might feel a little bit of sensation there. Nice deep twist. Stay with it for about another minute now. Couple more long, deep inhalations and exhalations. Sink into it that last little bit more. Release the back foot. And just roll onto the side of the body. Allow yourself to undo any sensation now. And then you can move the cushion, roll back onto your tummy, rest the head in the hands for a few breaths. So notice perhaps how much deeper and softer your breath is now. How much space you've got around the hips, the shoulders.